I'm black. Give me diamond watch, give me platinum plaque. I'm a goon or something, I make do with that. Ain't here to small talk, don't need the chat. Know that I was made in the lab. The scientist screaming, oh my God. Give him swagger, a Tone Beach bar. Let him hit the streets, let them die. What I mean to be great when you at halftime. When you're 20 years old, never had a touchdown. When you lose a control, all your brother's been gone. You're confused, you're alone, never earned you a dime. I got the goal, I think I'm gonna win. Race in the morning now.
Hey, welcome to a Wednesday morning edition of JustSayN Podcast. We'll cook with Ferman and Laresa. In her absence, she will be timing in shortly. We're bringing powerful conversation, real perspective, and impactful dialogue to start your day the right way. This episode is all about insight, growth, and keeping it real the way only Ferman and Laresa can deliver. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We want to thank y'all to our faithful supporters that faithfully support this brand new platform, the JustSayN Podcast, under Nerd Media, because we are in the media business. We want to make sure that we're bringing great content to y'all, the listening audience, on a regular basis. You know, we're live streaming every Wednesday at 5. We're doing a very special edition this morning, and I'm very honored, very privileged to have a king on here with me this morning. I had the pleasure of meeting him at Mr. Taj it was a youth mental health event. He was catering an event, awesome food. So I need to get in contact with his brother. He's originally from Chicago. He's now residing in the DFW. He have a very impressive resume, from military to being a chef, business owner, you name it. Here we love having people that are doing positive things. So my guest, go ahead and introduce himself. Thank you for taking time out your productive schedule to come on here. I know that you're very, I don't want to say busy, but I know you're very productive man. And we know that it's all about time, and it's all about strategizing. It's all about discipline. It's all about structure, and it's all about making an impact wherever you go. So, Chef Ed, thank you, sir, for coming on here. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Take us behind the scene on this great individual that I'm standing across virtually this morning.
It's great to be here. My name is Edwardo Bey. I'm from the south side of Chicago, Inglewood community. One of the largest, the largest side of the south side, and the south side is the largest side of the Chicago. But anyway, been cooking for 30 years, man. Life is good. You know, I came down here because I'm not getting any younger, you know what I mean? But the weather is so beautiful. Like, I was like, oh, I'm sold. Like, I'll be right back, you know. So, just moved here 2 years ago. The place is beautiful, man. You guys got some, beautiful people. And, just continually creating a network of the people that I want to do business with, so.
But it's a beautiful thing, Chef Ed. Just to make that transition. Originally, I'm not from here. Originally, I'm from Mobile, Alabama. I moved here to the DFW 2020, and I love it here. It's exciting here. Just the networking, the people that have a big goal, have a big vision in mind. People that's out here making stuff happen, and then you get out here and network with people. A lot of places you can go to and see and explore. So I'm with you 1,000% on that. So you mentioned you are from Chicago, right? Born and raised in Chicago, transitioned down here. There's a lot of people. I know it's another coworker of mine. Big shout out to Gibson. He works in law enforcement. He's from Chicago. So I see a lot of people from Chicago transit down here in DFW. So why from Chicago come down here to the South in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas?
I don't know why they came, but I came for the weather because, like I said, my body couldn't take the cold no more. And I have a friend of mine that I've been knowing since '88. We went to school together and went to Simeon, the mighty Simeon in Chicago. Played ball, all that different stuff, and came and visit, and the weather was so beautiful. I was like, man, this is like this all the time, and I was like, okay. And so, I stayed for a while, and then I went back to Connecticut because I was doing a contract in Connecticut, running a camp for food and teaching culinary in Connecticut. And then I came back and I never left.
And that's how it be. And that's really how it be. But like I said, you making an impact. You didn't just come in, you're making an impact, you make a move, you make a connection. So take us to the first, when you came back here, what was the first thing that you set out to do here in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas?
Well, the first thing I wanted to do was get my business established. I have like 4 different businesses that do multiple things for our community. So the first thing I wanted to do was get that established, and and get involved with the people that do the same things that I was doing in Chicago. So I deal with a lot of mentoring. I deal with a lot of, you know, consulting and stuff like that to help young men and women start their food business or on their food journey. So that's the first thing I did was establish that. Um, and to find my tribe. When I found my tribe, the ball players, a lot of my ball player buddies from Chicago live here in Texas somewhere. In Houston, between Houston and Dallas, it's a lot of us, you know what I mean, that used to play ball in Chicago, either referee or they coach, some kind of sort of, still giving back to the community.
Man, and that's what's all about giving back, having that heart of gratitude and stuff like that. And so I'll get into some questions, of course, and I'm finna pull up some questions. Like I said, we want to make sure we're operating in the spirit of Edison. So my first question is, I know you are a chef, of course, and then I'm gonna ask you this: for those who don't know you yet, who is Chef Eduardo beyond the title of executive chef?
I'm a son, I'm a father, I'm a neighbor, you know what I mean? Like I'm heavily involved in any community that I ever been involved in. So I'm always looking to help, you know what I mean? Because that's just who I am.
That sums it up right there, just straight to the point. And then my next question is, I'm gonna pull up some more questions. And I know you did time in the military, of course. You know, you are a U.S. Navy veteran and Desert Storm War veteran. Can you take us back to what led you to serving your country? What made you want to serve in the military and serve the country?
Well, on my mom's side of the family, it's been a service member, and one of those branches of service from Iwo Jima, from Normandy, from we're talking about all the way back in the days. You know what I mean? My great grandfather was one of the first copper tone Marines, and so we have a great history in the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard. Um, we served in everything from those wars all the way to 2008 with the last service member that we had in our family.
And that's what's up right there. And I know, what was some of the biggest life lessons you learned during your time in the Navy?
Well, the life lessons I learned was everything is not as black as white and black and white as you think. It's always deeper than the surface. So you got to keep studying, keep pushing. You have your goals. Everybody have their goals. You mind your business, keep your head down, keep your chin up. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I know what it is. I mean, and also, you work different men from different walks of life, different background. I know it teaches you about structure, it teaches you about teamwork, about working together. Um, for those who wants to, when you did a military, I know it does deal with your structure and backgrounds. Did that help incorporate you as you made that transition into the business world, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It creates a discipline. I mean, like I said, I came from a disciplined family. I mean, structure and family and discipline, family members from a lot of different, Army and Navy, Marines, stuff like that. So structure was a part of my life. So, I'm not doing nothing willy nilly. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to, and I'm not going to help your kid or your nephew or your niece do nothing willy nilly either, because that's not who I am. Like I can make, like I said, my name has weight, so I could just make a phone call and get them a job or get them a mentor or something like that, because that's what we need. We need more business owners. You know what I mean? And so we need to go back to being the way we were, back in the days. You know what I mean? Where everybody is supporting everybody's business. You know what I mean? Versus going outside ourselves.
Yes, sir. And I hear that all the time, and I know, and we still do it, of course. Everybody want to do this, and do that, and you're right about that. But why is that? But why is it so hard for us to support our own, but we'll step outside? So easy to support the others. It's like we don't believe in ourselves, and we don't know who we really are and where we originated from.
Well, it's a mental condition. I mean, of course, I mean, it's a lot of years of conditioning, you know what I mean? Like people who take over your system. And this is what I learned from one of my good friends that's a young man that came after me. He is a regional manager for White Castles. White Castle is one of the most profitable businesses in the world. Even during the recession, it was profitable because it's about the system. People are not successful without a system. So it's the system that's successful. You like 11-year-old can run a White Castle's restaurant because they can read. So that's where it's at. It's the system. So if I have a system against you and I start just using, okay, I'm patient. I'm going to take my time and dismantle your system. I'm going to get inside your system first and then do a Trojan horse internally out and keep on, yeah, don't do this, Ferman, don't go on his show, don't do this, don't do, you know what I mean? Like, no. But if I'm doing it and it's more powerful over here for me, the dynamic to say, hey, Ferman got a great show, man, he got a great platform, you know, go support the brother, you know, you know. It's easier for me to do that because it makes me feel good. And we want to do things that make us feel good. Like, you know, we are people of copper. We got copper tone complexion. People do things that make them feel good. Music make them feel good. Good food make them feel good. You know, so we are feel good kind of people. So, but once an enemy understand that about you, they utilize your greatest thing to become your greatest opposite. See, and so we just been taught that, you know, just to, you know, to dig into our brothers' back, dig into our sisters' back, pull them down every time when they get to a certain level. You know, you think you're doing something, you're not doing that, you know, but it's not about me proving anything to anyone. It's just about, it's a study to show who approve yourself.
That's it. Study should thyself approve.
See? Know thyself. Study thyself. When you think you know, study yourself again. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it always ends up in evolution because we constantly evolve every day.
We do. And now I'm an advocate for involvement. I love involvement. And it really ties back into what you're talking about, thyself. You know, the scripture said, love thy neighbor as you love thyself. So, you know, everything goes back to self. And even though the Apostle Paul also said, no man yet hated his own flesh, but what nourishes and cherishes. So if you love yourself, you're gonna take care of yourself. You get the proper nutrition. You're gonna do the proper things to help you evolve and grow. It goes back to, like you said, Ed, to loving self. But we don't love ourselves. We'll operate in chaos, self-destruction.
And that's what we taught, to hate ourselves. We taught to actually hate ourselves. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's so crazy. That's beyond crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's beyond crazy. So at the end of the day, it's a war from your shoulders to the top of your head. That's what a war is, in between your ears. It's the war zone. I'm teaching you what I want you to learn. I'm creating the habits that I want you to have. I'm instilling my rhetoric inside of you, and then you passing it on to generation. See, because we don't study ourselves.
And we don't study ourselves. You know, we gonna know religion, spirituality, whatever we want to call it. I look in scriptures. I love the word. I study the word, and I know a lot of people don't say a lot of things in the word. I know the scripture lets us know that ye are God, children of the Most High.
Ye are God, children of the Most High. I told the dude that he looked at me crazy. I said, man, I study all walks of life. It's not no one walk of life, bro. I said, this is not the is all to be all. This is just a guide to get to where you're trying to go. You got to utilize whatever tool you got to go where you're trying to go. I said, and once you get there, you got to go have enough strength to go back and sing Kofa. Go back to the generations behind you and say, hey, this is where you go. Don't go that way. You got a pothole. Don't go that way. You got a speed bump. Don't go that way. We're going to put you on the expressway. So you fast track, pick up 2 more people on the way, fast track, pick up 3. Them 3 people pick up 2 people. You see what I'm saying? That's 6. And constantly keep evolving. Don't think that because you got something, nobody else can have it. No, it's more evolution waiting on you if you give it away. You can't receive nothing if your hands are full already.
Right, most definitely. Because I had a big shout out to with me and Lola went out yesterday. We went to this the escape room.
Okay.
Um and it teach about mindset and teach how to work together, mindset, using your mind and stuff like that. It's a big shout out to the Skepology in Dallas, of course, great place to go. And we had a conversation after we left. We had a conversation, and it's all about being open minded. You know, why people are so closed minded nowadays. You have to be open minded. Now I put that in practice, being open minded, involved and grow, especially when individuals come into your life. They can help take you to the next level. Either they could be a hindrance or they could be a blessing. How you want to say it. But I'm always about growing, iron sharpen iron, and take me to the next level. We had a conversation about that, being open minded. How important, and I know you in mentoring and stuff like that. How important for these young men, the youth in general, to be open minded, open to possibilities? Because I know a lot of these young men come from broken background, poverty-stricken backgrounds, abandonment backgrounds. They thinking violence is the only way. They see, well, and I never had my dad in my life. My mom this and that, and they think that's normal. So what can we do to keep them to see possibility, give them a whole new outlook on life?
You know, I had mentors in my life from all and throughout my neighborhood. We integrated our block in 1971 in Chicago. It was a it was a European neighborhood. We was the first copper tone family there. I was the first brother born on my block.
Mm,
See, in '74. So when you talk about understanding, understanding surpass your neighborhood, understanding surpass your zip code, understanding surpass your state line. You got to be putting yourself out there to get what you're trying to get. You got to understand that everybody's not going to agree with you. Everyone's not going to agree with you. And what is the common ground? If you spoke Russian and I spoke Chinese, do you know how to speak English? Yes. Do I know how to speak English? Yes. Okay, we're going to use English as the catalyst to bring us together. See, you have a strong family line. I have a strong family line. We do business. You do wheels, I do tires. We need each other.
we do,
See,
we do.
you just got to understand that. Find the thing that you do, and I'm going to bring what I do to the table. And then we're going to say, hey, man, I want to cater your business event. Don't worry about it. I got it. I'm going to take care of it. Every quarter, I want to do your business event. I'm going to take care of this at cost. And then when you have your other quarterly meeting, use me as your caterer. Is that a deal? Oh, man, that'd be great. See, but how many people are really going to utilize the word? See, because a handshake. I come from Chicago. Chicago is a great city of favors.
Mm,
I come from the political action committee. If you don't have a political friend in Chicago, you're dead. It's just the way they go. If you don't know an alderman, a councilman, or somebody that's shaking and moving, you're really nothing.
yeah.
So I did what I had to do ever since Jesse Jackson Jr. was in office. I helped him get in office. I help all kind of judges get in office. We've took aldermen out of play because they were doing the people wrong. But it's about relationship. What are you trying to do to impact the people today so they'll have something tomorrow that other people won't have?
Yeah, because I'm all about a better tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? We know we have to start somewhere and it starts today. I give a big shout out to one of my co-workers. He mentioned something about breaking the cycle. And somebody has to break that cycle, right? Because
Got
that's the only
to.
way we're gonna see change and change the narrative on a lot of things. And I'm gonna talk about that too. I'm gonna talk about this whole I know our community, we just start saying this term generational wealth. Uh what the fir- what would be your definition on generational wealth? I think they focus military wealth on monetary gain, but generational wealth to me is spiritual wisdom because you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the minds and the tools to maintain it, you just gonna scroll away and lose everything.
Do you know my great uncle came from Drew, Mississippi? illiterate millionaire. He lost his millions 3 times and gained them back. Illiterate millionaire. Because, see, you got to have the discipline and the fortitude to wash, rinse, and repeat. He did tires. I learned how to do tires by hand at 13 years old. Breaking tires down by hand. Because we only had one little raggedy used machine. And then if it's busy, what you going to do? You got to let the air out. You got to start breaking the tire down by hand. And then while somebody else is using the machine, and so by the time when Unc start putting the tires on, I'm breaking the other tire down by hand. So I learned how to use, because they come from a big family, huge family, right? And so all the brothers, it was one sister, 2 sisters, and all brothers. It was about 9 of them. But they believed in togetherness. They worked together. I'm an only child, so I had learned this from them, seeing them be together. The older people was always together. And so as my family began to pass away, my older people started passing away, the family dynamic wasn't there no more. They wasn't like talking about togetherness and, some of my first cousins' kids, I don't even know them. I never met them. But I'm the oldest of my generation. So it's like, what are we doing to plant the seed? The seed of relativity says, plant the seed, you will get a harvest.
Yeah.
So once I plant the seed, I don't talk to my cousin them like I talk to their kids. I talk to their kids because I'm about fun. I'm all about fun, man. Right. I'm all about fun. I bring the food and I bring the fun. They're like, man, what's up? Who's coming? Is he coming? Is he coming? And they all in a frenzy if I'm coming. And they're like, well, what did he tell you to make you all excited about him? He talked to me. He listened to me. We have a conversation. He don't just dictate nothing to me. See, that comes from me utilizing my tools that I learned through mentoring. Children coming from all walks of life. You know what I mean? Like, man, if it wasn't for my uncles, what would I be? And he's talking about biological and non-blood relatives. You know what I mean? We're talking about unks, man. Like from back in the days, taking kids on skating trips and to Comiskey Park to the baseball, we talk about all these different things. So it sparked that in me. And I end up taking busloads of kids out of the neighborhood that they never seen outside of their neighborhood, only home and school, home and school, home and school, corner store, home and school, home and school. No, I took them all the way out to Rosemont Horizon, where the WNBA Sky play at. Rented 2 buses out of my own money. Created relationships with people that always gave me bundles of tickets. I gave them a ticket. And you know what the warmest thing, out of all my accolades and culinary and all that, you know what the warmest thing I ever felt in my life was when a young man grabbed me at the grocery store from behind. And I'm in Chicago, so I'm like, what's about to happen? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and but I wasn't scared. I was like, man, what's going on? Who is this? He say his name. And I say, okay. He said, man, you don't remember me? You took me and my brother to a basketball game when I was in 7th grade. This man, 23 years old, bro. Wow. Man, I can't, how many people out of service since then? But it warmed my heart, man. It almost made me cry because he was like, Chef, you changed my life, man. Like, you don't know, man. Like, you believed in me and my brother. We got jobs. We do this. We live together. And, you made our situation better. And I said, wow. You never know who you impacting, man. But it's very important to impact somebody.
I agree.
You got to start with yourself in the morning. Talk to yourself in the morning. Man, you're great. Hey, it's time to be great. Today is the day. It's a new day. You never seen this day before. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Get yourself together, your mental together. And then when you have that first encounter with that first person, my friend uncle used to own a store in this place called we used to call it Jewtown, but it's a Taylor Street in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And he owned a tailoring company. And people was coming to get hats and suits and shirts and all. He said, that first customer can get anything he want from me. I'm ready to make all kind of deals with him because how I start off is how I'm going to finish. I never forgot that. And I was like a teenager when I went to this store. But I was learning around people that were doing business to for the community. You know, it was needed. You know what I mean? So, you know, anybody know Chicago? It's a melting pot. It's all kind of nationalities there. So everybody's culture is different. You know, you can't be, oh, I don't eat that. I don't eat that. I don't do that. You don't know until you try. You don't know until you try. I have a saying, I want to come in and monkey smack you in the mouth with my food, right? Mm-hmm. You know, oh yeah, you know, like it's just like them wings, like we had at the torch event. Right. You know, people were they still talking about the food. It was simple food to me, but when you come in with something different and people are not used to the service. So I came in with my own black tablecloths. I came in, you know, I'm gonna give you a keen treatment because I want you to feel great when you eat. I want you to be like, man, this food's so good, man, you know. And from that one situation, me, like you say, the spirit of excellence, I've had 2 catering gigs since that.
Yeah. I mean, because everything, like you said, Chef, everything start with self first. Love thyself. You know, study that show thyself approved. Everything start with self. Because you have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else not gonna believe in you. But you have to believe in yourself, and people will back you when they see you operating in the spirit. As they see you putting in the work, they see you putting in the grind, they see you operating because the scripture said that God does everything decent in order. So we're made in His image after His likeness. So we are to operate in decent and in order, and operate in the spirit of excellence, not be slothful in business, but take everything seriously and make this thing. Well, you mentioned your name. Your name has weight, and your name is everything. The scripture says a good name is better than riches. You know what I'm saying? So that lets you know our name could either give us life or bring death. But we also want to make sure that we have a good name wherever we go. And your name speaks volume, even before you enter the room. And you know, and you can experience that people already know you, and you ain't never met nobody, and they already know you because of your name and how your name travels.
Yeah, and that made me feel good, man, because you know, people try to create your expectation, which is impossible. You know what I mean? We're like, oh, you going to Fort Worth? Oh, you're doing this? Oh, you're doing. But listen, man. It says even in your hometown, you will not be received.
That's true.
So, do you know? I'm the king of the South, man. Like when I go wherever I go to the South, man, the people love me, man, because I'm so real. Like I'm coming to give them something that they don't. Listen, man, I'm coming to give you grit cakes and shrimp and etouffee and all that kind of stuff, man. Look, here, have it. You can have it. They're like, you giving me this? Yeah, I want you to have it. Because if I don't get my food in your mouth, I'm losing. But I guarantee you, when my food get in your mouth, you're going to talk about it for days. You're going to talk about it. You're like, man, I don't know what he did to them grits, man, but, man, that thing was banging. You see, I don't know what he did to them wings, but that smoked mac and cheese, man, I never had that before. Blah, 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 you know. And so to have that ringing in a new environment, that's the richest for me, man. That's the richest for me. And now I'm trying to get my foot in the door of schools to help me mentor these young men so they can learn how to cook, man, and take care of themselves and stop eating all these noodles. You know what I mean? Like that.
You know what, Chef? I'm glad you brought that up because I know these young people, I don't say young people, it don't matter, don't know how to cook at all. And especially if you want to get married one day and you have a wife and these girls don't know how to cook at all from scratch. So I'm with you 1000% on that. These especially young men that learn how to cook for themselves, cook real food, now this processed food. Because them more McDonald's and Burger King and all these spots they be going eating all this food, but never learn a master to really cook. And we never took it serious. But I know when I was in school, I don't know if they still do this or not, but they still do cooking classes within the school?
Yeah. Some schools have They either have a culinary program going on in their school or they have home economics.
And I know you can make some major money
Oh,
in
yeah.
the industry of chef. And I don't think a lot of people don't realize that. They think, oh, chef, but you could make, you know what I mean, with multi-millionaires,
Man,
master chefs and stuff.
it's so many facets. Like my facet I'm working on right now deal with seniors because the seniors have no restaurants to go to or they have a hard time getting around to go to them.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is few, far, and in between, right? So now if I bring you 10 meals, that's 5 days of meals. 10 meals is 5 days of meals, right? So I'm only gonna do 2 meals a day. Okay, your insurance will take care of that. Your SSI take care of that. You know, your insurance that you got, it'll take care of that. They'll say, oh, like Melina. Melina is one of the people that's nationwide across the board that deal with healthy meals. So in every state is a different amount. So now people are like, oh man, you know, I do meal subscriptions. Okay, I do meal subscriptions for seniors. Oh, okay. So now I deliver your food, and then you got enough food for 5 days, and then I keep it 5 days minimum. I mean maximum because now I want the food to stay fresh.
Yeah.
See the validity of the food, the durability of the food. I want the food to be good, crisp, and fresh. So now I'm giving you that food at the cost of what the state say, oh, $9 a meal for dinner, for lunch, $3, $4 for breakfast, whatever the case may be. And I'm giving you these meals consistently. You got forks, knives, spoons, napkins. You got the meals in the, you know, in the secured plate or whatever the case, disposable, you know, buckets of food. And then I'm constantly. So is it safe to say that your auntie or your grandmother or your mama know somebody else that need that? So bam, they're gonna start talking about it. Oh, he bring me good food. His food is fresh. It's seasoned well. It's not overly salted. I told him I have diabetes. He give me a diabetic menu. He give me a high blood pressure menu. You see? And so once you understand that, when you understand food, now you can deliver the food in the correct manner. You can deal with the food and issue the food to the right person in the right atmosphere and go from there. So, you know, we have to do this for our people. We have to do this for our young and yet unborn. You know, I don't want to pass down diabetes to my uncle. I mean, to my son. I don't want to pass down diabetes or high blood pressure to my granddaughter, or whatever the case may be. I don't know, you know, what's you know similarities and symptoms you have, but food is medicine.
It is. It is. It talks about that in the Apocrypha. About the food, you know, the food and stuff, and the earth is the medicine and stuff like that. Not too many people don't realize that. But eating the fruits and the vegetables and stuff like that. So you absolutely right.
Yeah, so you know, I'm here for it, man. I have a website, you know, Shy Guys, Shy CHI hyphen GUYZ.com, and it shows you all my services. You know what I mean? And I'm a man of the people, man. I want to make sure that the people okay. You know what I mean? People get to thinking about price all the time. I'm like, but you don't think about price when you go buy a car. You need a car.
That's that. Yeah,
You don't think about price when you go to the doctor. You need the help. And they pumping you with medication and they getting paid off of it, keeping you sick. I said, I'm trying to show, yeah, and I said, I'm trying to give you the real deal so that way you can be better, not feel better, be better.
Right. And then they last a long time because we're supposed to be immortal. You know what I'm saying? The body is designed to live for 1,000 years. And we're killing ourselves, or we're cutting our own lifespan short about how we're not taking care of these temples and how we aging. People aging so bad. Even you see young people aging so bad. I'm 43 and I'll be 44 next month. Aging number a number. But we all about our purpose and operating in our purpose. And even though the scripture said we in the world, but not of the world, we don't operate like how the world operates. We're different from the world. We separated from the world. So we should move differently, like I said, making an impact and constantly going. Because I believe being healthy, being in shape is part of our life purpose. And now that what we learn and what we gain is to pass on to the next generation or those who we come in contact with. Like you said, and passing it on down. Like Scripture said, good man leaving inheritance for his children. So it's like, okay, I want this bloodline to be successful. I want the bloodline to be great. I want the bloodline to be very, very legendary. If that makes sense per se. So yeah, I'm with you 1,000. Before going to further, I want to give a big shout out to everybody watching this on Instagram. Big shout out to my good friend Crystal on Crystal Talks Counsel. She said, hello, family. Big shout out to her. Y'all make sure y'all follow Crystal. She's a cancer survivor. She has a platform every Thursday on Facebook Live at 8 p.m. on Thursday. So y'all make sure y'all follow Crystal. Crystal Talks Counselor, safe place, transparent conversation with a lot of people that come on her platform. So y'all make sure y'all check out. So I want to give a big shout out on the Instagram side on this morning. So we're going to continue with our conversation. This is called Legacy in Motion. That's the title of this episode. Like I said, you went from military to the culinary world. How do you, what that transition about coming from military to being executive chef?
Say what now?
The transition from the military into becoming a executive chef and mentor.
At the time, we talking about the early 90s. I was cooking in the late 80s, started cooking in the late 80s, and went to the early 90s when I went to school for it. And that was very frowned upon. From my grandfather didn't play that. Like, he was like, stay out of that kitchen. He had an old school thought, right? And so, but we were the best kept secret in our community as far as cooks. The men was cooking better than the women. You know what I mean? Like, guys were teaching the women how to cook, how to grill, how to simmer, how to bake. We were doing a lot of different things, but people were not acceptive to us being, culinarians, and so it was only until my grandfather tasted my food, and then he thought that my grandmother had cooked it, and he was like, this is different. You ain't never made nothing like this before. What is this? Woo, woo. And so she said, do you like it? He said, I love it. This is great. This tastes wonderful. She said, well, your grandson made it. What? I told him to stay out of that kitchen. See, it became about dictatorship and not appreciation. So it took him a while to understand who I was. I said, Pops, I'm a creative being, man. I know how to fix houses. I know how to do everything from the roof to the basement. I come from, on my dad's side is Belizean. So they build, they build houses. My grandfather couldn't even really talk a lot of English, but he could build your house if you explain to him what you want, And then my other grandfather was a Southerner. That's all he wanted to do was fuss and cuss, what I mean? And I was like, well, yeah. And I you just have to understand people, man. You have to understand people. But what do you have to give them comfort? It's just like when a man went and looked for his son a wife, right?
Yeah, Abraham.
He was setting the tone for his legacy to live on when he gone.
That's it.
People didn't get it, right? So I'm setting the tone. I told my son name is Elijah. I said, Elijah, you have to be able to just walk through the door, son. I've already made it where you could just walk through the door. If you tell people who your dad is, you could just walk through the door. So he made some apple crisp one day and he called me, oh yeah, my apple crisp, da. And his grandfather kept it real with him. He said, man, you wasting your time. He said, what you mean? He said, man, Edwardo live, sleep, and eat this thing, man. You popping up throwing a rock at him like he laughing at you. He laughing at you, man. He laughing at you because, it's cute that you throwing a rock at him and like you want to follow his footsteps, but you think you just going to wake up and beat this man? Nah, he said, nah, I've seen him cook a lot of stuff, man. I ain't never tasted nothing nasty from him, ever. So what that did with my son was that put a fire in him. He like, if I don't get him this time, I'm going to get him the next time. And I said, son, you got to wake up pretty early in the morning to get me at all, to even get close. I said, because I got stuff I ain't even never shown you.
Mm.
You know, I got stuff. I said, who you think used to cook for you when you was a kid, when you was little? Ask your sister. Who used to cook for you in the morning, early in the morning, breakfast, dinner? They waiting on me to eat dinner, and I'm construction work at the time, man. I ain't even in the kitchen no more. I'm just, you know what I mean? Because, you know, the real estate boom. So I'm like, you know, he's like, oh, Daddy, when you come home, we got to eat. I'm like, Mama, what you mean you got to eat? But it's about the feeling. It's the experience that they feel when they eat the food. See, when you just doing it just because you got to do it, it feel different. Because everything has a vibration. Everything has a frequency. So, you know, you talk about, you know, the difference between the transition for me from military to culinarian. It was a big deal because, like I said, it was not help like it is now. Funding and all that kind of stuff. You know, we were hustling and we didn't never learn how to do business.
I agree.
And the older people were so fearful that we coming with this new energy, they didn't want us to do no business. They like, I ain't showing him. He ain't finna take my place. Instead of saying he can keep this on, he's strong enough to keep the legacy going. No. You know, like I'm a historian. Like in Chicago, Liam's Barbecue is a historic place. Leon's is a historic place. Those people have moved on, right? They have passed on. Now they family, the young family is still doing the business, family business, but it's not the same. The taste is gone. See what I'm saying? Because what I'm willing to do, it'll be too much for you. You'll be like, oh man, I ain't doing all that now. I ain't doing all that now. That's what will make me. It's just I read in the questions to talk about what make a good and a great. That's what make me great. I'm always willing to go the extra mile. But you know why? Because I read and I believe in self-improvement.
I love that. I like that. I'm happy for self-improvement. I love self-improvement.
So in Think and Grow Rich, it talks about going the extra mile.
Mm-hmm.
In the 12 principles, it talk about going the extra mile. When I mastered that part, ain't nothing you can do with me, man. You can't outwork me. I was raised by baby boomers and silent generation people. People come from hard work and service. They believe in service and they believe in hard work.
Mm.
That's instilled in me. You can't outwork me. No matter what I'm doing, you can't outwork me. So when you look up, you wake up, guess what? Whole pan of cinnamon rolls. Whole, you know, you got a whole thing lined up on the counter. Chafing dishes, eggs, potatoes, sausage, you know, all these different things that I'm sharing myself with you through. And people don't get that. They separate themselves from being a professional and then being themselves. No, I'm giving you a part of me. If I give you a part of me every time, I can't lose. Can't lose. Because I want you to feel it. And when I say it's gonna dance on your tongue, it's gonna dance on your tongue. And you're gonna be like, man, I done had some food before, man. Well, something about this food that's making me feel like, man, that's it. It's the thought that caused it all.
But it's all about putting that work. You know what I'm saying? Putting that work and go. I believe in like this. You go hard in the paint, put in 1,000% in what you do. In all that you do, you want to make it successful. No matter if it's mopping the floor, be successful at that. Sweeping the floor, be successful at that. Picking up just any little thing. Making your bed, be successful at that. Because we don't think like that on the level. We just thinking, oh, it ain't nothing. But it leads up to bigger things. Just like if people want to be prepared, you know, you start preparing yourself now. Like the book that I have, Think and Grow Rich, it talks about from the black culture, and it mentions that you know you start dressing for success now. Don't wait. You start dressing like success now. You start putting yourself in motion now, because everything is about energy and everything is about vibration and everything is about science. And we bring things on ourselves. If you put out worry, you're gonna get worried back. You put out stress, you're gonna get stressed back. You put out fear, you're gonna get fear back. You put out success, you're gonna get success back. And I know it starts within the mindset. Even Christ himself, had to move the people out the room when they laughed at him. When they said the little girl died, and she said she was only sleeping, they laughed. They was in doubt, so he moved them out the room because they was full of doubt. And a lot of things, I move people out of these rooms, Shelf, that's full of doubt and don't believe in what you're doing. You got to remove those people out the way.
See, what he was demonstrating was the law of relativity, because he was planting the seed and he had to be like a farmer. I come from University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. My name is on one of the buildings down there. My grandmother laughed at me. My great grandmother said, "What your pretty self doing knowing about farming?" I said, "Grandma, it's in me." When my great grandmother came up to Chicago from Mississippi because she had chronic diabetes, we had a garden in our backyard. 1979. The food tasted totally different than what I'm getting from the store. Okay, so now I don't want to go back to the store and get no food. I want to get this food from my backyard. So then when I got older, I built me a whole big thing: strawberries, peppers, cucumbers, cabbage, you name it. I had it in my backyard. And they was like, "Man, this dude got everything." Because it's about building, man. Yeah. But it's about having something today that others won't have tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing something today to put the structure in place. You won't even got to move the net off of it because the squirrel's gonna try to eat it, the raccoon's gonna eat it, the coon's gonna eat it. No. I got chicken wire all over my thing. I done framed it up. I done set it all up in the trough. Everything I already done outthunk them already. I've been doing this a long time. You can't get through there, see? But I can water through there, see? I can water through the net. See, and that's what we got to do. We got to build a structure and still be able to water the young men and the young women. You know what I mean? They still got to get the water that they need. You know, like different states have different watering. You know, you can't use the water after this. You're not supposed. Bro, I need water when I need water. I can't let you dictate when I need water. Is you crazy?
Yeah.
Is you crazy? I need to feed these young men and these young women food. This is the only food that they got to eat every day. They go to school just to eat.
Yeah, they do.
In Chicago public school system was 45% young men and young women were coming from a homeless situation via staying with a neighbor, staying with a stranger, staying with a relative, or coming from a shelter. If they didn't go to school to eat, they probably wouldn't eat. And that was the reality. So me and my chef buddies got together and we created something like the Black Panthers used to have: free breakfast, free lunch, free dinner, you know what I mean? And we had our programs running. And it wasn't about getting money. It was about filling a need in our community.
That's it. And we got to get back to that, because we on this rat race of I got to get the bag, chasing the bag. But we forsaken integrity. We forsaken moral. We forsaken value. We forsaken all that. I got to get the bag.
Well, the bag is the attribute of service. Mm-hmm. People don't get simplicity is ingenuity. I teach that in my culinary class. Simplicity is ingenuity. The bag is the result of work. It don't come if you don't work.
That's right. Don't work, don't eat.
You don't work, you don't have the impact. People don't know. People won't market. People won't tell it about the service that you're giving to the people. If I can give you good service, you're going to bring your mama, your auntie, your cousin, your uncle. Man, chef is amazing. His food is great and he got great service.
Yeah, that's how, like you mentioned earlier, about the word of mouth. Word travel. You look at all these business, they always want you to do what they do. What's the thing they do when they do business? They want you to go online to talk about their business.
Yeah, they want you to fill
Review.
out that form. They want you to be on there talking about, leave me a good review.
Yeah.
Why? I don't have to tell you to leave me a good review if I do you right. If I do you right, even if I do you wrong, this is what makes me improve. Because practice don't make perfect, practice make improvement.
That's right.
I got to have the glass half full, but I got to have the glass half empty too to improve.
Yeah.
If it's too full, I can't receive the, man, you like, man, the chicken was good, but it was a little salty for me. If I hear that salty 3 more times, then I got to adjust my recipe. But if you say it's just salty and everybody else like, well, just fine to me. Oh, okay. Because I don't use salt in my food. So you saying it was salty, what's going on with you? Did you smoke? Do you smoke, sir? Yeah, I smoke. Oh, okay. That answered my question for me. But you got to understand food to understand that. So anyway, we got to get back to that, man. We got to get back to having little small, growing potatoes in buckets, troughs, cabbages, greens, stuff that is durable, we got to get back to that, man.
Yeah, we do. And we really do. And we got to wrap it up, Chef. And I'm going to do this one too. When it's all said and done, what legacy do you want Chef Edwardo to leave behind?
Well, my legacy is healthy is the new wealthy.
I like that.
Yeah, healthy is the new wealthy, and feeding the kingdom one plate at a time. So what is on my plate? What am I giving you? Am I giving you a sirloin steak on a garbage can top, or am I giving you a hamburger in a luxurious plate? See, that hamburger on a luxurious plate will make you feel good. It didn't come with a smell. It didn't come with an expectation. But I gave you this sirloin steak on it's seasoned. It got cowboy butter all over it, but it's on a garbage can top. It smells like something totally different. The legacy I want you to understand between all of the businesses that I do is all about service. I want to serve you. I want to give you the best service you ever had in your life. And that you will constantly keep understanding service, and that you will give somebody else the best service that they ever had in their life. That's my legacy.
Yeah, because as men, we supposed to give them experience anyway. Get them experience they never had before.
That's it.
Give them experience they never had before. And we about to ready to wrap it on up, Chef. And I know you are a very productive man. I don't want to hold you up. So what we got going on next? How can people get in contact with you? How can they schedule a consultation with you? How can they become a student? Go ahead and let it rip.
Well, I have a website. Like I said, I have a website, shyguys.com, CHI-GUYZ.com. That's CHI-GUYZ.com. And my phone number is 708-305-7249. That number again is 708-305-7249. I'm open to cooking classes. I'm open to nonprofit situations, dietary situations. There's no thing that going on with food that I'm not involved with or can help you with. Point you in the right direction. Everything don't cost. Stop thinking for people. Just ask the question that you want the answer to, and allow the people to help you. You know what I mean? Like everybody is not out for $1. You know what I mean? I'm not. I've been good. Culinary has really blessed me. So I always look to be a blessing to somebody and help somebody solve a problem that the doctors is telling them that's unsolvable. You know what I mean? So I've seen a lot of healing in my life through food. So,
yes, sir.
Just take the time out to give me a call. Check me out on Instagram, Shy Guy Healthy Soul Kitchen. I'm available on TikTok as well. But give me a call, 708-305-7249. Healthy is the new wealthy, and we feeding the kingdom one plate at a time.
Hey, man, awesome stuff. That sums it up. We want to thank everybody for tuning in this morning. Big shout out to my teammate Lo in her absence as well. So big shout out to her. Big shout out to you as well, Chef Eduardo as well, to your family. Peace and blessings among y'all. And like I said, we thank everybody for tuning in that's watched us on this Saturday. I said Saturday. I do shows on Saturdays too. But this Wednesday morning edition of the Just Saying Podcast. Big shout out to everybody that watched us on the Instagram side as well. Thank everybody. If you watch us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the new podcast channel, the Just Saying Podcast. If you're on the YouTube side, hit that button, subscribe, get the notification. We out this thing. Chef, any words of wisdom, any sound advice you want to leave you with to listen to all of these beautiful people?
Man, I give a kudos to you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Your great positive platform, and all the young culinarians out there, man. Keep cooking. Don't let people push you in a negative light. Tighten up the things that you know that ain't right. And simplicity is ingenuity. Okay.
And that's it right there. So we got this thing, man. Y'all have a great Wednesday, and we'll see y'all soon here on the Just
Peace.
Saying Podcast from Nerd Media. Peace, everybody.
Peace.